Okay, welcome to the show. We're going to go through the Premier League results and the matches for this weekend. Just introduce yourself again. My name is Sean, and we have my co-host.
Yeah, Luke, and so we're going to go through Gameweek 27 this week, go through all the fixtures, and then we're going to do our Player of the Week, Assist of the Week, Goal of the Week, and so on, and then we're going to do our predictions for the upcoming Gameweek 28.
Oh, perfect, cool. So we start off Saturday, half 12 kickoff. Burnley 1, Arsenal 1. Crazy game. What's your thoughts on this match?
I thought a good game, to be fair. I thought the first goal, I thought Pope should have done a little bit better. I thought he could have maybe saved it. I think, and then going into the other goal, I think, what on earth is Xhaka doing? Like, what is he doing? Like, it's just like, just what are you doing? I mean, because the football at the moment, like, teams are passing it through the back, so it is a lot of passing through the back, but it just complete, just like, when you're a kid, your first thing you get taught is, when in danger, just kick it out. And I know teams are wanting to pass around the back four and stuff, but in that situation, just get rid of it. Like, don't mess about with that. Do you know what I mean? And for me as well, it's the same players letting Arsenal down all the time. Like the same players that some was from the Arsene Wenger era, and some obviously have been brought in, but like your Xhakas, your Berlins, your David Luiz's, silly mistakes. You know what I mean? The silly mistakes that they're making, and it's constantly letting Arteta down. And like Arteta, he's got the third, other than Southampton and someone else, they have got the worst. They're the worst team for scoring first and then conceding straight after or losing the game, dropping points. They've done it 22 times so far, and I just think it's the same people that are letting them down. And like Arteta this week, he's been linked to Barcelona, and like Barcelona are looking at him and stuff, and because he plays some good football. Like Arsenal do play some good football. And I think the way he's developed, like Saka and players like that, them flair players, he does play good football, but. It's just the same players letting him down every week. Well, not every week, because obviously they had a good game against Leicester, but every couple of games, it's the same players that let him down. It's like when Xhaka got sent off a couple of weeks ago, a few months ago, and it was like for a silly red card. Pepe got sent off against Leeds. It's just the same like silly mistakes that they're making. I thought the game was good. Burnley are a good battling team, and they put a good shift in. I think maybe Arsenal should have won the game really. And probably a disappointing point for Arsenal, to be honest, but they're going to be, around the mid-table places this year, aren't they? So, what do you think?
Well, I thought, to be fair, it was a decent game. Because Arsenal were very comfortable in most of that first half up until the equaliser. They played particularly well. They should have been a couple of goals up. Obviously Nick Pope should have saved that shot from Aubameyang, but Saka should have buried his chance. He should have, put it wide, and then obviously Xhaka doing a Xhaka. I think he's had the most. He's given away made most mistakes leading up to goals since he joined Arsenal. Actually, in the league. So that tells you all you need to know. You know what, Leno. Having said that, I think it's 80% Xhaka's fault and maybe slightly 20% Leno's. Because I know Arsenal playing out from the back, but once that ball goes back to Leno, he can actually ping it out wide to.
Yeah, he sets him up a little bit. Yeah,
he can ping it out to left back or right back. But then on the flip side, the ball that's played to Xhaka isn't a fast ball, so he could literally ping it first time. He decides to take a touch. He looks at Chris Wood. He looks where he is, and he still plays it into Chris Wood. So it's just like it's lovely, but Chris Wood, ever the opportunist, just stand there, got in the way.
That's the easiest goal he's ever going to score. He just hit him.
Yeah, he would never score an easier goal in the league. Having said that, in the second half, I think in the second half, Burnley definitely battled back much more. They much more improved, played much better. Having said that, they should definitely have given away a penalty because Peters' handball, that was definitely a penalty because Pepe was just flicking the ball past him. When you look at it from the first angle, it might look more natural, but for the second angle, Pepe tries to flick the ball past Peters. He sticks his arm out and handles it. So that was definitely a penalty. The VAR did look at that, and that decision was wrong. The red card that he got after, which was rescinded, which was correct. So it wasn't a red card. But they hung. To be fair, Burnley hung on in the end because Ceballos hitting the post. Sorry, last minute, and some good blocks from Ben Mee in the defence. That's what Burnley do. Burnley dig in, grit, determination, and they got themselves a point. Arsenal will be gutted because for them that's definitely 2 points dropped. But Arsenal will ride or die by playing out from the back. So just like a lot of teams, so it happens.
Yeah. What do you reckon? Burnley in a battle for relegation or not?
I think they will have enough to get out of it. They've got enough heart and grit and determination to get out of it. Where they to be honest, they don't concede. I know they get hammered maybe by like Spurs or Man City or something like that. But apart from that, they don't.
It's rare. Yeah, it's very rare.
They hang in there and they don't concede too many goals. So no, I think they'll be fine. Yeah, 1-1. Cool. Right. Sheffield United 0, Southampton 2. Obviously, you'll be happy that Sheffield United.
I'm not happy. People are going to say I'm like a Sheffield hater. I'm not happy, but like, I just obviously I said the last episode, but I just think they're just a very poor Premier League team, and I think they're a good Championship team, and I think the Southampton game just proved my point. Like they're a good Championship team. They're nowhere near the quality of Premier League. Like I think obviously they're missing key players. Like every team is like O'Connor and players like that who were big parts of their team last year. Henderson was a big part of their team last year, but they're just not good enough. But then Chris Wilder actually came out and said that. He said that there's a lot of players that need to go, and he said that they need to go now or they need to go at the end of the season because they are not good enough. And I think it just proved it. And I think they've got nothing up front. It's like that McColdrick chance where he just chipped it to the keeper, and it's just like he's a Championship striker. Like he's not good enough, and they've got some good Championship players in there, but they're just nowhere near the standard you need to be for Premier League. And I think they lost to a poor Southampton team. Obviously, Southampton team are out of form, and I just thought Southampton just completely put them away. I didn't think they really broke a sweat. Really, do you know what I mean? I don't think there was any pressure that they were not going to win the game. Obviously, Sheffield beat Villa in the midweek, but like they played a Villa team that. Without Jack Grealish, are struggling to score. Do you know what I mean? I think that was a massive factor. But yeah, Sheffield have gone. Like they've gone. I don't even think that's a question anymore now. They've gone. I think Chris Wilder knows they've gone. I've been reading that he might be going as well, Chris Wilder. But they're not going to get rid of him until the end of the season because it's a lot cheaper to get rid of him at the end than to get him now because obviously his wage decreased by so much when they go down. So yeah, I've heard that he's going to be going, and I've read that he wanted to invest in the team in January, give it a really good go to stay up, and they said no. Said we're not going to give me any more money type thing. So I don't know if that's true, but yeah, I'll see. But yeah, they've just got no strikers. That's been their problem all season. They've got no goals in the team, and it's they didn't bring anybody in. And but good results at Southampton. The Shea goal, unreal, like fantastic goal from Shea, like just hit perfectly. And I think it probably done good. Danny Ings getting injured and him coming on because I think Danny Ings has been out of form for quite a while. And because I remember I listened to Talk Sport and it was. The person Talk Sport said it was an argument about Danny Ings going to the Euros, and they said if Danny Ings doesn't score between now and the end of the season, does he go? And the guy said, "Oh, I don't know." And he's hardly scored. Like he's not scoring at all now. I know he's playing at quite a team that they're out of form, but he's not scoring goals. So for me, Danny Ings does not even get a mention for England now. But yeah, I think Southampton probably stay up now. I think they've probably got enough points, and they're. On the day, they are a good team. They've got some good players, but obviously just being out of form. But just see how they got next game. But Andy, what do you think?
No, I agree with all those points. Actually, Sheffield poor. Considering they put Pot in to beat in Villa 1-0 with seeing out the rest of the match with 10 men, the quality is not there. Like the difference is also like with the McGoldrick miss as well. If you think about it properly, right? In the Championship, you might get more chances after missing a chance. In Premier League, you're only going to get 1-2 chances, if that, a game. You've got to put them away. Especially, it's a gift. So, stuff like that. At least if Sheffield had won that, they might have had a slight momentum to push themselves a bit further up the table eventually. But, Southampton were very good, in the end. I thought that Teller guy who came in.
Yeah, he looks good.
caused trouble, havoc the whole game. That's how we got the penalty from Ampadu's challenge. It was definitely a penalty.
Yeah.
And then Shea Adams with a scorching goal, like straight after half time, and that. So that kind of just wrapped it up. Like literally hit the sweet spot. Top bins, great finish. But Southampton deserved to win. They needed that. They really did need that for their confidence. Also, what you said about Danny Ings, it's fascinating because the problem you've got with Danny Ings is he's quite injury prone. So despite him even scoring a lot of the goals, maybe even towards the end of the season, it's like, would he be fit enough to play in the Euros because he gets quite injury prone? But that's a fascinating one. So yeah, good win for Southampton. Sheffield going down sadly.
Right.
The Midlands derby, Aston Villa versus Wolves, or should I say the hit the post or hit the woodwork derby?
Oh, Mr. the Season derby.
Connor Cody?
Saeed. That's Saeed.
Oh yeah, Saeed, yeah. Terrible. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think Villa can't score without Grealish, and I think that's been proven last couple of games. They just don't look at scoring. I know they scored against Leeds, but against Leeds, they literally, I felt they had that one chance and that was it. And I feel that's, they are struggling without Grealish. And I think they're struggling more than what I thought they would, because you look at the squad and you see like Watkins, Traore, like McGinn, Barkley. They've got like some players that can create chances and score goals and stuff. But without Grealish, they've really struggled. Like really struggled. What I thought. Decent game. Like I thought, both teams were chances and stuff. I think Wolves were definitely thinking we should have won that game by 100%. The Cody, and then the Saïd miss, just. I mean, he's not really missed it the season because I think he's a bit unlucky. He's seen it late. He's booted it over, but it does look like it's easier to score than miss. But he was a little bit unlucky with it. But one thing I want to say though, Martinez, he needs to go down as one of the players of the season because he has been unreal this season. Like to say they picked him up and Arsenal didn't want him, like the amount of games he's kept Villa in this season is unbelievable. Like he did it the other week. Every week he does it. Like every week he always gets like man of the match or you know what I mean, like or clean sheets stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, both teams I think mid-table. They'll be like mid-table, but Villa desperately need Grealish back. Desperately.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I totally agree with that. Both teams had chances. Watkins, great strike from outside the box, hit the bar. And then Villa, they hit the post again. First half, that one should have probably gone in. But then, Connor should have buried the header, to be fair to him. That definitely should have gone in. Saiz. Well, defenders, we'll call it a defender's clearance.
Yeah, cleared the ball.
Defender's clearance. That's what popped into his head when he put it over the crossbar. But you know what? Wolves will take, in the end, they'll be disappointed when they didn't get 3 points, but they'll take the point because, still no Jimenez, still creating chances to score, but they'll take the point. Villa will probably also take the point as well. I don't think El Ghazi was playing either. So if Grealish is out, El Ghazi will also have to step in and help in that department too. He wasn't playing either. But both teams still creating some good chances to score. Honours even 0-0. Mid-table teams. Okay, Brighton versus Leicester.
What are you saying?
Well, on that one, good win for Leicester in the end because they didn't start particularly well. I thought it was a poor goal to concede, really. I know it took a deflection when it went through, but Lallana's finished it off very neatly. Brighton, had a few other chances, especially in the second half. Didn't take them. Lallana had a great chance. To score when he was 1-on-1. It was a good save by Schmeichel. Where credit's due, Leicester, they upped it in the second half. Iheanacho, great movement for his first goal. Just left dunk for dead. Ran in and just hit it right in the top corner. Great finish. And then when you're at the bottom of the table, you don't want to be making mistakes. And this is Brighton, yet again, another home game where they've lost it late on and made another mistake. When that cross come into the box, I'm not really too sure what Sanchez was doing. The goalkeeper just flapping. Completely misses the ball. But fair play to Amati, though. He just kept his eyes on the ball, nodded it down in the back of the net, and Leicester take the 3 points. So Leicester will be happy about that, But Brighton, yet again, they're creating chances, not taking them. And in the end, they're getting beat. They're not heavily getting beat, but a defeat's a defeat. And, the bottom of the table, they're level on points with Newcastle and Fulham. So it's not looking good. What is your thoughts?
Yeah, agree with you. To be fair, I thought Tillerman's pass though. I thought that was unreal. To be fair, really, just really slick and just good move from in actually. But I thought the pass was like unreal. And yeah, really good result for Leicester because I said that I thought they might go on a bit of a dip now. They've lost Madison and Barnes, obviously two of the biggest flair players. But they're grinding out results, so you need to grind them out, and that's making of a good team when you've not got your best player, but you can still get a result. Do you know what I mean? And that you're a good team as well, where you've not played fantastically well, but you get that little bit of luck at the end where you get that knock. You know what I mean? And the keeper flapping, they get a goal. Same mistakes for Brighton. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the same mistakes. I know that Sanchez has been fantastic, last couple of games, and I think he's been good for him. But it's some individual mistakes that is going to cost them, and hitting the post, when it hits a post and then goes out, and goes in, it's like stuff like that, and you just feel like they're getting really sucked into that relegation zone, and it's a lot of teams now who are down there, and you're thinking where are these wins going to come from, and because Fulham are climbing, West Brom are around there, and you're just thinking where are these results going to come from, and I've said it before, good teams do go down, and there's no goals in that team. They're just not scoring enough goals. So it'd be interesting to see, the next couple of weeks how Brighton got on. But really good for Leicester. And I do like Leicester, to be fair. So I do hope that they do keep winning games and stay in that top four, because I think they deserve it. Even though they've had them two big injuries, I think they've had a really good season and stuff.
I think you know what, the fact also that Vardy hasn't been scoring that much recently, but Iheanacho stepped up and he's doing really well. Because he scored a goal against Burnley midweek, which was a good goal too. So he's stepping up, which is good. So fair play to Leicester on that one. Brighton, started the season also, like I said, creating chances, not taking them.
No.
Chances, not taking them. But having said that, it would be much worse if they weren't creating anything.
Yeah.
The fact that they're creating something, fair enough, they're not taking it, they're giving them still a chance. Because some other teams aren't making any creating much chances at all. So
yeah,
that's the only saving grace Brighton have right now. But fingers crossed for them. Right, West Brom 0, Newcastle 0. Going on to Sundays. Well, this has to be, last on match of the day highlights as usual. Not a great game. West Brom really needed, both teams actually, not just West Brom, both teams really needed a win, really. So a point I don't really think does anything.
Doesn't help either of them. No, it doesn't help. Because they're both in the positions where West Brom are so far down, where Newcastle taking 3 points off West Brom doesn't really mean anything, and the same with West Brom, it doesn't really mean anything. Just them taking points off Newcastle, it would, better off taking the risk and really going for it. Do you know what I mean?
There's a couple of chances in this game though. Joe Linton, you can tell that he's got no confidence whatsoever, because if it was Callum,
when he drops it across, and it's just like a confident striker takes it.
Yeah, you got to be greedy as a striker. All the strikers will tell you. No, all strikers will tell you. You got to be greedy. You 1-on-1, put it away. And then you might win the game 1-0. But having said that, Diagno on the other end, he plays one over the bar as well. So it's fine margins as well. But he needs to work on his finishing, because he really should have much more goals than what he's got for West Brom.
I mean that the young player, he was just to literally find me a striker and just bring a striker in. We're desperate for a striker. They had no strikers, and they brought him in, and he's not. Do you know what I mean? He's not good enough. He's just someone who. It's like Tosin. When he brought Tosin in at Everton, he'd find me anybody. Do you know what I mean? Find me someone who can just put the ball in the net, and that's what they've done with that Diang. So I don't think he's the answer type thing. And Joe Linton, he must go down as one of the worst signings. Because the amount of money they paid for him, he's been disastrous.
It's terrible.
He's been there how many years now, and he just looks just terrible. But then you can see where these owners are coming from with these signings is why should I invest £50 million in a striker when they turn out like this?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Same with West Ham with Haller. They spent 45 million and recouped 20. Do you know what I mean? It's such a bad signing. And if you're a Newcastle, because I've got a Newcastle fan who's a good friend of mine, and he thinks they're in big trouble because they've got no goals. They've literally got no goals. Now you took Callum Wilson out, they've got nothing.
Nothing.
But yeah, do you want to give us thoughts on the game?
It's an absolute struggle, for both teams to stay up. Newcastle got no goals. They've got a little bit of creativity, which is not enough. And and if you got no one to take the chances that you have, then you have no chance. I felt only a little bit sorry for Newcastle because they've had a lot of injuries, but a lot of teams in the Premier League have had injuries.
Every team's got injuries, though. Yeah, you can't blame that. Every team's got injuries, but yeah, I think Newcastle are definitely, I just see him and there's just no creativity now. Do you know what I mean? And especially with Almeida on the set maximum and Wilson injured, it just feels like there's no creativity. And I think, I think Newcastle definitely would. I thought that Willett played well. You know what I could see. I thought he looks like a bit of a flair player. I thought he did well, but I felt he was on his own. I felt he was doing it all on his own.
Yeah.
But I think, look, Sam Allardyce, West Brom are a very good defending team. They're not going to concede many goals. They're not going to score many goals. But I think they're going to run out of games. I can't see. It's just there's not enough games now in the season, I don't think, for them to stay up now.
Well, they're going to have about 10 games left to do something. And, unless they turn into Fulham, after we talk about the next game, unless they turn into Fulham, then and show a bit more resilience and guts and all that, then there's no chance of West Brom at all. So, big weeks ahead, big games coming up.
Yeah.
Big games coming up. Okay, so, the next game. Don't really want to talk about this one. So I better Liverpool 0, Fulham 1. Another defeat to our collection. That's 6 home wins. I wish I could do with 6 home wins. 6 home defeats on the bounce. It's embarrassing, shocking, unacceptable. But fair play. I have to give Fulham credit first of all. They came there with a game plan, executed it to perfection. They needed the win. Obviously, we definitely needed the win, but they needed the win for where they were in the league as well. Mistake by Salah from the set piece. Having said that, he should have known where Lamina was. Looked around to see where Lamina was before the ball even came to him. So he was able to get his body in the way of the ball. Got picked. Great finish. It was an excellent finish by him. And Fulham looked a very good, like a threat all through the game. Especially on the counter attack because Liverpool, again playing a high line as we always do. But the problem is, if you play a high line, everybody must press. And if only a couple of people are pressing here and there, it's no good. Or else it doesn't work. So if you're going to press, the whole team must press. If not, you're just going to get picked off so much. Get picked off and they're going to come straight through you, hit you on a counter-attack and probably score. And I don't know if it's lack of energy or tiredness or what it is, because it might happen because, like I said, nobody else had a pre-season. So players and teams are getting more tired, but it's just, Klopp made changes, because it's just like, if the team that he's putting out over the last how many games aren't doing it, he's going to make changes. So he had to. Also, obviously, he might have an eye on Leipzig, but he made changes, and there's a chance for certain players to come in and come in and take their place and do the best that they could, and not good enough. So that's another defeat, and it seems like it's like this every week. So we might be in it's a good thing that the other few teams in the bottom of the table are worse than us. Well, I say worse than us, we can't even beat them. But it's good to see that they are worse than us in the table, or else we'd be in a relegation scrap. So what was your thoughts?
I mean, you're in a crisis. Like it's a crisis now. Like you just don't know where the wins are going to come from, and it's just like it's got a little bit beyond. Like it's just gone beyond the joke a little bit. Like Fulham was 7-1 to beat Liverpool, and I was tempted to have a little bet, and I thought, no, they can't lose another one. Like surely it's not going to happen, and it's happened. It's just a bit like, if you could have put a bet on at the start of the 6 games, you say Liverpool are going to lose 6 games at home, you'd probably got 1,000,000 to 1. Like literally, the odds would have been ridiculous. but I mean, for me, the big players are not stepping up. You know, they're just not stepping up. There's rumours that Salah's not happy, and he doesn't look happy. You know, I mean, the way he gives the ball away for the goal, and you know, it's just not good enough. You know, for a player of what we expect him to be, it's just not good enough. And Robbie Fowler's come out with something saying if he's not happy, get rid of him. You know, and it's
There's no one in the club. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and but the players the big players start stepping up. You know, he tried rotating, and I've said this before. I just don't feel there's enough depth in the Liverpool squad because the players that come in didn't perform. You know, your Shaqiri's don't perform. You know, and I feel that they're letting Klopp down. You know, at fullback with Arnold and Robertson. You know, the players that are coming in to replace them aren't good enough. You know, and I think Robertson and Arnold know that our place is safe. Like, we're not going to lose our place. Do you know what I mean? I think they're fairly confident. So yeah, I think the signings that we've made this year. I think hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I think the signings could have been better. But I just don't know where it ends with. Like, I don't know where the ending is with this because it has got beyond the joke now with the defeats. Like, to lose 6 games at home and you're Liverpool, who have just won the league, I just don't know where it stops. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, like Klopp said, we're just wanting 3 points, and that's literally all you want at the moment. But it's just like, where are you going to get these 3 points from? I think once you do win at home, I think you're probably going to run. I think you're probably it's just stopping the rot, but it's just when that rot is going to stop. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fair play to Fulham. I think I thought they played really well, to be fair, and I thought they tactically got it spot on. I don't know. I don't know if teams have worked Liverpool out a little bit. I don't know if they've worked them out and worked out how to play against them, and it's just that's why they're not as dangerous and the big players aren't stepping up. But it just seemed like Fulham just worked them out and I mean, they could have scored right at the end, Liverpool. You know, and we're unlucky not to score. Anderson intercepted it. But yeah, like I don't know. I can't put my finger on. I think there's just a variety of things that's just going wrong, and I think it's all going wrong at the same time, and that's just why they're not getting results. But I think once you get one result, I think they'll go on a bit of a run. I just need to stop the rot. But I don't think Klopp should be sacked. I definitely don't think he should be sacked. I think he deserves another season. But and I think at least this season will give him a bit of a wake up call that there's some players some players need to get out, but some players need to bring in as well. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, fair play to Fulham and fair play to Scott Parker, because I think he's done really well. And I just think that the flair players, the Lookman, the Reeds, look really good, and they're creating a lot of chances. And I think they'll take over Newcastle soon. I think it won't be long until they're out the relegation zone. Newcastle are in it, and I can't see Fulham. I can't see if Newcastle go into relegation zone. I can't see them coming out.
I was even getting that, man. No, it's a tricky one for them. But going back to your point before, I have to say someone who's performed very, very well actually for Fulham, who's maybe gone under the radar, is Anderson. He's been absolutely solid at the back. Very, very good. So, shout out. And yeah, Scott Parker, excellent job. Very honest manager. Great job. He knows they weren't performing as good as they should have been at the start of the season, but now they've stepped up, and he's getting the best out of the squad that he's got. So fair play to him for that.
But he's brought in players as well. He's brought in the players to help him out. Do you know what I mean? So he brought in a striker, in Madger and stuff, and he brought in like the goalkeeper a little bit later. He brought Lookman a little bit later. Do you know what I mean? He brought the players that he knew he needed. And I think that's another reason why he's doing a lot better.
I mean, fair play to them. Fair play to Fulham. But Liverpool, what can I say? We need to go upwards, and quickly. We need to start by beating Leipzig.
It'll be interesting. That's a big game, to be fair. That's going to be a really interesting game because you're at home, and that's going to be a big game because if Leipzig beat you at home and it's then 7, then you are then starting to worry. But if you beat Leipzig at home, that could be a massive, just for your confidence, just for their own self-belief. Do you know what I mean? That they might go on a bit of a run.
Well, we need to avoid getting beat 2-0. No, we can get beat. Actually, no, I don't want us to get beat, period. But if we lose 1-0, we'll still go through. But I won't be happy about that. So, yeah, come on, Liverpool. Let's step it up. Right. that bit was over. Right, Manchester Derby. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. The one of the inform away teams in the whole division versus the informed team in the division, and Manchester United won again. Thoughts?
That was a shock for me, to be fair. I didn't think that'd happen. I thought it'd be either 0-0 or City would win it. I did not see Man U win it. I think they were lucky, not lucky because I mean it was a penalty, but I mean they were lucky that they got an early goal, and I think that really helped them out because then it put more pressure on City, and United had something. I think the longer the game went on, if it was 0-0, I think it would have been 0-0. But because United then had something, they had a goal and they were winning the game. I think that definitely helped them out. And I think it was good that United was showing what they can do as well. So it was like, we can actually go toe to toe with Man City and we can beat them at their own game type thing. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, Man City didn't really create that many chances. They had the one where they hit the crossbar, but they didn't really create that many chances and stuff. So I think Man U kept him at bay quite a lot. So I thought, I thought Man U played really well, and I thought tactically Solskjaer got it spot on. I still think they're quite far away from City, but I think it's definitely a good platform for them to go off. Do you know what I mean? But I think City will come back strong as well. I think they'll be licking the wounds, and I think they'll come out fighting against Southampton. I think they'll put them away quite easily, to be fair. Just show what they can do. But Luke Shaw was fantastic, and I think he's had a really good season. And definitely he will be getting. He should be getting a phone call for the England squad for Euros because he has been brilliant, to be fair. But what are you thinking?
No, that was a very good performance from Manchester United. I think it was also a surprise because Manchester United start matches slowly. And for them to be on the front foot from the outset showed their intent, which is good for Manchester United. Showed their intent straight away. There was a typical centre forwards challenge from Gabriel Jesus. I don't know what, there were so many Manchester City players around him. Anyone could have pinched that ball, but the last thing you want to do is give away a penalty in the first minute. Ederson, he was close to saving Fernandez's penalty, but for football fantasy reasons, that's why we're glad that Fernandez actually scored the penalty. But no, Manchester United tactically spot on. Excellent by Solskjaer. But the thing is about Man United, right? If you look at Manchester United, this is what Manchester United do. They're so unpredictable because, they could 1 week they get beat by Sheffield United, and the next week they'll beat Manchester City, or the next week they'll go to PSG and win. This is just what Manchester United do. On their day, they're capable of beating anybody.
I think just with that what you said, I actually agree with that. And because when Man U played Leeds, because obviously the way that Leeds play, literally Man U got it so right when they played Leeds, but they scored 5 against us. Because tactically they got it right. And I think when it comes to the tactical side of it, Solskjaer's actually a good manager. He actually against Pep, I think he's got better results against Pep than Pep's got against him. Do you know what I mean? So I think tactically against them managers, I think he does really well. I think he struggles sometimes just to, drew 0-0 with Palace. Do you know what I mean? So it's and they lost to Sheffield. So it's
it's teams that sit back.
Weird.
It's teams that sit back against Manchester United. They struggle about.
Yeah, they struggle with that.
And teams that can sit back and defend, they struggle against. But teams that might press you, maybe play a higher line or something like that. Look at PSG probably, for example, and Manchester City, teams that play much more offensive and you can hit the counter attack. Manchester United, bread and butter. That's what they do. That's what they play. Luke Shaw, like you said, excellent performance again. Let's hope that the guy does not get injured before the end of the season. Gets in the team. That was a brilliant goal that he scored. Great.
Yeah, it was.
Great 1-2. Excellent finish. But yeah, Manchester City just a little bit off it. It happens, it happens. These things. The thing is, if you look at Manchester City, maybe the last 3 games, obviously they played well against Wolves, but then the week before that, they weren't at their absolute best against West Ham either. So you could tell a little bit of tiredness was creeping in for that game against West Ham, and West Ham were playing very well. So right now, if you drop your level against higher, better top teams, then this is what will happen. So. A fair play to Manchester United. I think it's one of their first victory against the top 6 team this season.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Well, it's not a bad game to have it in. Manchester Derby, not a bad game. So, they cut the gap. I think it's 11 points clear. I think Manchester City are at the top of the table now.
Yeah.
So they cut the gap at least, and they stay above Leicester. So that will also be good for Manchester United. So I don't really like praising Man United too much, but where credit's due. Fair play to them. Okay, moving on. Spurs 4, Crystal Palace 1. Wow, Tottenham scoring goals. Plenty of goals like that. And they've got Bale, Son, Kane, all firing. All firing, it seems, well, right now at the right end of the season already, Some good finishes in there. Obviously, Crystal Palace brought it back to 1-1. Benteke right on half-time. Mourinho probably would have been furious about that. The Palace equalising, but then they come out in the second half. Bale scoring again. Kane scoring again. Game over. So fair play for Tottenham for that, and they're creeping up the table. They've now scored 100 goals this season under Mourinho. So he's not all defensive.
Not bad for a defensive team, he said, didn't he?
No, not bad. But they've got Bale playing. They've got Bale back to his best.
Yeah.
At the right end of the season, you've got cup final coming up soon as well, and Tottenham look like they're quite they're coming on. They're contenders potentially for the for the top 4. So fair play to them. Palace will be fine, just about. They'll probably just about be fine. For Palace, I think they need to focus on getting players signed for next season because they've got a lot of free agents, and including their manager. So I think that's a big thing for Crystal Palace. But it's good to see Benteke getting another goal as well for his confidence. What were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. There's not many teams that have a better attacking four than Spurs. Like Bale, Moura, Kane, and Son. Like there's hardly any teams that would be better than that. Do you know what I mean? So they should, on paper, they should never. They should always be scoring goals because they're so good at attacking four. But I think they're still poor defensively, and I think going to that Benteke goal, like it was completely unmarked. Like it's a good header, like good finish, but it's completely unmarked. So there's definitely areas where Spurs need to improve. But yeah, like I said, they're hitting the form at the right stage. I could see Spurs going on a bit of a run. With Bale performing so well. He said that. That it's taken him time to get up to standard, up to fitness and stuff, and he's saying that he's fit now. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I can see a bit of a run for Spurs, and yeah, definitely pushing for that top four spot now. And I think especially like with like Liverpool and stuff, with the form that they're on, they'll be thinking we're definitely going above them. Like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I thought the goals were really good as well. I thought the goals were really. I thought Kane's goal was really good again. But yeah, on form, 2 assists, 2 goals, scored last week. I banged him in. So yeah, good.
Yeah, fair play. Monday's games. Chelsea 2, Everton 0. Your thoughts? What do you think?
I predicted 2-0 again. I said to you last night. I said I think it'll be 2-0. It's 2-0. They don't concede. They don't concede at home. Like they just don't concede. 5 games and not conceded at home. And I think up to the Man U game, I was very much was saying that like I thought Lampard was a little bit unfairly treated the way he was sacked, and the games that Tuchel won, I think Lampard would have probably won. Lampard would have probably drawn him. So I think it was a little bit unfair. But now what I'm saying is I think Tuchel has done a fantastic job. Like I think the way he's built his team, where they're just not conceding goals, they are so hard to beat. They're going to be a 4-6 season. I think they're 100% they're going to be a 4-6 season because if you don't score past the team, you can't beat them. It's simple as that. Do you know what I mean? And they're restricting team chances. He's got the defence playing. He's got Alonso playing as well. He's getting a run of games now. They just look, and he's doing a lot of rotating with the team as well because they've got a lot of depth in the squad. Like Mason Mount's starting every game and like stuff like that. And I just think they look really good. And I think the win against the other week, I think just showed like how much he's improving the squad. You know what I mean? And it's like the Havertz he's starting to play. Do you know what I mean? He's starting to develop into a good player. I think Werner, he had a chance last night, and I think he's still low on confidence, but you can sort of see what he's about and that he can still be a good striker. He's just a little bit low on confidence, but yeah, I really impressed with Chelsea. To be fair, now, yeah. What are you saying?
No, fair play to Chelsea. Another win, another clean sheet. I think Mendy's doing all right actually in the clean sheet bracket this season. Everton probably a bit off the pace. They had a couple of good chances actually. With Richarlison, should have scored in the second half. No, definitely would have made it 1-1. He definitely should have scored that. But I thought Everton were a little bit unlucky with that first goal. You know, we had isn't going in, no chance. But having said that, Pickford made a couple of decent saves actually, especially for Marcos Alonso, who is in there for Chilwell. Don't know whether he's going to be getting back in, so that might be a worry for him starting for England.
I mean, he does rotate him. He does rotate into Chilwell's had a couple of games, but he definitely. I mean, Marcos Alonso, like he's won the Premier League several times. Like he's a good player. Like, do you know what I mean? He's quality. And Lampard just didn't trust him at all. But as soon as touches come in, he said, "You're my man. Like I want you." And if you remember, I think it was Mourinho didn't play him, and then Conte came in straight away, put him in, and banging him in. Do you know what I mean?
So go for it. He such a goal for it. He gives him a goal for it. You know, from moving forward, and he can finish. The guy can finish.
Yeah,
that's also a big thing as well. Also Pickford, you know, for the penalty, Stonewall penalty.
Yeah, definitely.
Total wipeout. So. And Jorginho doing his lackadaisical penalties as doesn't matter. It all goes in, and another win for Chelsea, and they're fourth in the table now. So, you know, they're doing well. Obviously, I'm not happy that Chelsea won, but I'm also glad Everton lost because Liverpool are going to lose. I'd rather Everton and Man United lose too, but Man United won. But fair play to Chelsea, another win, and they keep marching up the table. Okay. West Ham 2, Leeds United 0. Somehow this game finished that scoreline. You predicted what prediction score did you predict yesterday?
I said West Ham would win. I said 2-1, I think.
The 2-1. I predicted 2-2 on this one. It probably should have been 2-2, but what were your thoughts?
We started well. I mean the offside, like I just don't understand this offside rule at all. Like it's just, I mean, the line, but like, a lot of Leeds fans post it on the Facebook groups and Twitter and stuff, and the line, like, he's not offside. Like the knee is behind the guy's foot, so I don't understand how they've given it offside. I don't understand how the judging these offside. It's like the other one with Wolves, where Bamford was offside, but then the guy's foot was behind Bamford, so it's like I just don't understand it. And they're on about it's going off topic a little bit, but they're on about Wenger's proposed a new offside rule, and they're starting to trial it. And it's that you can only be judged offside with the parts of your body that can score, and that needs to be brought in because the rule is just stupid. Like it just makes no sense. Do you know what I mean? Like the Polish
they're already doing that though. They're already.
So at the moment you can point. No, yeah. So at the moment you can have your hair can be longer than your arm, and it can be ruled offside. Like, do you know what I mean? But Wenger's proposed it to him, where it's only the part of your body that can actually score. So Bamford pointing, that wouldn't be offside now because he's pointed. He can't score with his hand. Do you know what I mean? So I just think that it's just a bit of a joke, to be honest. But I thought we started well, but then I thought after 15 minutes, West Ham just completely dominated the game. And I thought their midfield three, Lingard, Fornals, and who was the other one? The winger. There's a winger. Ben Rama. I thought they just, them three, like going across, they just completely run the midfield, and then our midfielders couldn't cope with it. I thought Click was very poor, and I think that's the reason he got taken off at our time, because I just thought he got run ragged. Costa was terrible again. I don't understand why he's still playing. He's just not bringing anything to the team. Tanner Roberts had a poor game as well. And yeah, I just thought they just run us ragged, to be fair. And I think I thought Lingard played well. That it was a definite penalty when it was a penalty. And Mezia was a little bit lucky that he saved it, but couldn't keep it out. But they were a lot better than us first half, a lot better. I thought the subs were excellent. I thought the subs that Bielsa made were excellent. I thought it completely changed the game. And I think the way, because he put Dallas in midfield, and I felt that Dallas could then run with your Lingard, your Benrahmas and stuff, and he was running with them instead of them. Yeah, instead of running at us. And I thought, I don't think West Ham had a chance in the second half. We completely dominated the game, and we were just unlucky, really. Like, you know, I mean, the second goal that they scored, you know, a set piece that we knew Leeds should have been aware that we know what West Ham are about. They've got a lot of tall lads in the squad, and all that lads are short. So it was obvious that it was going to be a set piece. So it's just one of them, really. Like, we knew that was going to happen. But yeah, second half, I thought Leeds were brilliant. I thought we played really well and dominated chances. The first one that Bamford had, great ball from Llorente, and a striker should be scoring them. You know, he should be scoring them. And then again, the second one, he should be scoring them. I mean, the second one for me was probably worse. The first one, he's a little bit unlucky because he has only just missed, and he's like taking it quite well. But the second one, I just think as a striker, you've got to put them in. I can't criticise him too much because he's had a good season and stuff, and every striker has a bad day. But you know, we should have got something from that game, and it is very disappointing to come back with nothing. Do you know what I mean? With the way they played. But saying that, you know, I thought West Ham, they very good going forward. You know, and I thought they were good defensively as well. To be fair, I thought they did well. I think David Moyes done a fantastic job, and I think the lads that he's brought in as well, the signings that he's brought in have been fantastic as well. I think Lingard on loan has been an absolute what a signing. You know, like, I think nobody would have. I mean, no one else would take him, and David Moyes took him, and he's absolutely smashing it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, again, first half we made it a bit too easy for West Ham, and second half we just didn't put our chances away. Simple as that, really. What do you think?
No, I agree. I thought, to be fair, having said that, I looked at the offside. I thought his knee was slightly offside, but the line is just ridiculous. So, like, it's just so hard to tell. I feel like sometimes you need to give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker in certain situations. I think Leeds are very unlucky there.
You want goals, don't you? You want goals, and it's just.
You do, yeah.
It's momentum. I mean, not with that one as much because he's going back a little bit, but it's momentum where, like, you're running forward. So you're gonna have to. If you're running forward, and the defender's going back, you're gonna have to have that little bit of a. Do you know what I mean?
But it's tough to actually see Bamford actually even touch the ball as well. It's pretty tough to actually see Bamford actually touch the ball. But having said that, like you said before, Stonewall penalty. It was clumsy. There's no reason to dive in like that. But Leeds, yeah, from set pieces, like you said, a bit poor. Bamford was actually marking Dawson from that set piece. You know, maybe you should put a defender on marking him, but it was a good header. But also Dawson could have put the game beyond that again because he headed one hit the post.
He did, yeah.
First half, so it was just. You know,
to be fair, that Suka, he had a chance as well where he literally like centimeters off, and if he connects it in, he ended up missing it and running to the post.
So that would have been good for football fantasy had he scored. But yeah, Bamford, couple of chances, got to put them away. That's the difference. See what I was saying? He's had a good season, I agree. But what I was saying, like with McGoldrick, when you get maybe in the Championship, you might get 1, 2, 3 chances. You've got to take them. In the Premier League, you've got to take those chances. The Championship, you might get 5 or 6. Premier League, you might get 1 or 2 if you're lucky. You've got to take them. And
I think
he's had a good season nonetheless, though. But credit to
yeah. But going to what I've said before, like with Leeds' depth, like with the sub that Leeds made, like so Rodrigo came on for Tyler Roberts. Rodrigo came on late because he's not fully fit, so he can only do like 20-30 minutes. So that's why he came on late. And I think that if Leeds had a little bit more depth, they'd have maybe had someone a little bit better than Tyler Roberts in the squad, meaning that you've got that extra substitution that you can bring back. Bamford had a poor game. He needs to come off. Like, Bamford needs to come off. You need to bring a striker on. Do you know what I mean? And I think, you know, if we had someone else up front, he might have scored. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, Leeds don't win in London, so I can't be too disappointed because they don't win in London. They're not winning in London. Stuart Dallas does something like 43 games in London with Leeds and they're still not won one. Do you know what I mean? So they just don't win in London. So I'm not going to be too disappointed. It's not a game where I thought, we should be winning that game because we, you know. But what I will say is Leeds need a win now. We need a win just to make sure we're safe, because if we keep losing, we've got some really tough games coming up now with City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? If we don't start winning soon, we will get dragged into that fight, and then it does get a bit, like squeaky bum time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we need to win. We need to start winning.
It doesn't get any easier. You got Chelsea next, but I think Leeds will be fine. I do think Leeds will be all right. Yeah. You play well enough and you create chances, and fair enough, you had an off day up front, but for the majority of the season, you're scoring goals, which is something that a lot of those other teams at the bottom are not doing. But it's been Leeds have been a joy to watch the whole season. Like, they've just attacked and had a go for literally every game that they've got. This season they've had a go and they've really gone for it. Fair enough, they might ship a lot of goals at one end, but at least they had a go. Some teams won't even have a go. So, Leeds will ride and die by the way they play. Fair play to Leeds, and David Moyes, brilliant job, excellent job. See, the thing is, what he's also done is how he was at Everton. David Moyes, he's kind of slightly now starting to I think change the philosophy and the mentality of how West Ham play, because by bringing in players like Soufal and Soucek, for example, obviously from Slavia Prague, teams that win probably every week win. So their mentality is, when they come to West Ham, they win. That's what they're used to. They're used to winning a lot. So bringing that mentality in and bringing that experience in. The same with Lingard at Man United. He might not have played as much, but their mentality every week is, we're in and we should be winning. We should win almost every week. Or every week we should win. Bringing that mentality to the club is also a factor for me, is why West Ham are where they are as well in the league. A lot of some of these more tighter matches, West Ham are winning and they're playing a lot better as well. And I think that the whole team has stepped up as well. And I think just their mentality is starting to change, and they're gonna go places. They need to hang on to
I think as well. If you remember at the start of the season when they sold that player to West Brom, Dianga. They sold him to West Brom, and Mark Noble came out and said, disgusting, we sold one of our best players and we're going to have a poor season because of it, and blah, blah, blah. And look how well they've done. And I just think their recruitment this year has been spot on. And it's like you say about the mentality of the recruitment, it's the type of players that they've bought. And I think that shows a really good team where they don't just buy, just we'll go get him. They actually recruit the type of player that they want. Benrahma, Lingard, Bowen. You know what I mean? Them type of players that are flair players, driving the ball forward. And that's what I mean about like how they played against Leeds in the first half. They ran the midfield because they were just driving forward every single time. Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of credit has to go to their recruitment, because the players that brought in have been spot on. But then saying that, the other players have stepped up. Creswell, he's stepped up, he's getting assists. Rice has stepped up as a captain, as a leader. He stepped up. Antonio is your main striker. He's not a striker, but he's playing. He's scoring goals as a striker. Do you know what I mean?
He's getting the best out of the players he's got, and that's they've got quality. Get the best out of the players you've got.
But it feels like his Everton team. That's what it feels like. It feels like his Everton team, where they had Tim Cahill and Mikel Arteta and players like that. Hungry players, fighting players, a good defence in Jagielka he had at the back, and Tim Howard in goal. And do you know what I mean? He had a really strong. Stephen Pienaar was his winger, his technical winger, and he had a really strong team there. And that's what it feels like. That he's building a really good, like, flary team that are going to really have a go at teams. Do you know what I mean? And when the fans do go into the grounds, they can make it a scare. When you used to go to Goodison, because it was so close and stuff. I know, obviously, the Olympic Stadium's a lot different, but it used to be a scary place to go. Like, it used to be, when Man U used to go, it used to always be like in Liverpool, always a feisty, hard game, and that's what you could build at West Ham because of all the fans, the West Ham fans in the stadium. You could really build that, that fortress there. Do you know what I mean? Of that flary, aggressive team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Yeah.
Right. So, should we do goals of the week?
Oh yeah, goals of the week. For me, there's only two contenders between Harry Kane's Thunderbolt, Curler, and Shea Adams. I'm going to go.
I've said them too.
That's what I said. Because the ball was on the bounce, and he's just hit that on a sweet spot and just arrowed into the back of the net. And I just thought it was a fantastic goal. And at the time of the match, it came as well. I thought it was just exceptional. So I'm going to go for Shea Adams. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think they were my two, to be fair. I put Adams and Kane. But I'd say if I had to pick one, it'd be Adams. And just because he hits it so sweetly. literally you couldn't hit it any more perfect. Crushes the net. And yeah, so I definitely got Adams for mine.
Absolutely.
Right, assist of the week.
Assist of the week. Okay.
I've already said mine.
Who's yours? Who are you going for?
Tillemans for that pass. I thought brilliant.
That's one. Yeah. That's
I thought pass. And it's the way he does it as well. If he passes and looks the other way, I just thought that's sick.
No, it was just brilliant. Like unbelievable. Like just a split through the whole defence. Brilliant pass. I think. Yeah, I agree on that one. Totally agree.
And then second would have been Llorente to Bamford if he had scored, but he didn't score. Because that pass was sick as well from defence. Yeah. For Villa.
Granny Xhaka? No, I'm interested.
For Chris Wood. Right, player of the week.
Okay, I'm gonna go for Teller of Southampton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, surprise, I know. But the reason I'm going to go for him is because, like I said, he come in from after Danny Ings' injury, and he just lit up that game. He was just a menace, like, for Sheffield United. Sheffield United couldn't handle him. He was just running the defence ragged, making runs everywhere, here, there, everywhere. The only thing he missed was a goal, because he played so well. Obviously won the penalty as well. I thought it was exceptional. And he's my player of the weekend. What about you?
I said Bale or Kane. Like Kane, 2 goals, 2 assists. Like, you know what I mean? Took it much better. And I thought obviously Bale played really well. And I said Martinez for Villa because I just think he kept Villa in the game. And again, he's just had such fantastic season. So yeah, I said Martinez. Villain of the week.
Oh, actually, I've got 2 as well. Actually, they're both for the same team.
Oh no, they're different to mine then.
So my first one is Xhaka. Clearly for the silly handball. Which was sorry, not the handball. Sorry, for the silly clearance which pinged in off Chris Wood because that was shambolic. My second one in the same game is going to Lacazette, right? Because if you see what he was doing, rolling around, screaming on that screen, he was like and you think to yourself, maybe he's broken a bone or whatever, maybe he's he's fractures something in his leg or something like that. The guy gets up and carries on playing after. And it's just like, it's just like, what are you doing? And I just thought it was just ridiculously stupid. I understand you're hurt. I get it. The tackle's hurt, obviously. But there's players that have been, who've been hurt way worse than that. And he's been tackled many a time in his career, and I've not seen him ever do something like that. I just thought it was ridiculous by lack of luck. But I'm gonna go. My main one's gonna be Xhaka.
Yeah, so I put Xhaka as well. Obviously, just giving the ball to Chris Wood. But I also made a comment. He was your player of the week last week, and now he's villain.
My player of the week.
For last week, you put him as player of the week, and now he's villain of the week.
Who was that? I can't remember what it was.
Xhaka, you put Xhaka and William your player of the week last week, and now he's your villain. And then for the other villain of the week, I put Salah. Because he get that ball he gave away for the goal, I thought, and I didn't think he played well at all. I think for the player that he is, he's just not stepped up. I mean, it's just my luck that the week I put him in as in my fantasy team for the next 4 weeks just does nothing because it's just my luck because I can't get any points or nothing. So, but yeah, he's not stepped up, so that's why he's my villain of the week. Right, so we've got upcoming fixtures next. So we've got the first game, which is tonight's game. Is it on tonight? City Southampton? Tomorrow. Yeah, so City versus Southampton. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm going 4-0 because I'm expecting for Manchester City. And I know Southampton, they got to win at Sheffield United, but they go to Manchester City after a defeat, and I expect them to react. So I'm going 4-0. What about you?
I said 3-0. I don't think Southampton will score. I think, I think they'll just batter them. Right, so then we're on to Friday. So that's Newcastle versus Villa.
It's a tricky one. So if Jack Grealish comes back from injury,
is he coming back or not?
I'm not sure. But the thing is, Newcastle ain't creating a lot at all. So I'm gonna go 2-0 to Villa. But I think this time Villa will actually take their chances. If striker, so they can score goals.
if Grealish starts or plays, I think Villa will win. If he doesn't, I think they'll draw. I don't think they'll score. So I'm going 0-0 if he doesn't play, and I'll go like 1-0, 2-0 if he does, because I just can't see him scoring, and I can't see Newcastle scoring either.
Yeah, so that will probably be last match of the day as well.
Yeah, and then next will be Leeds versus Chelsea. Should have been the return of Lampard. It should have been the return of Lampard, but they sacked him too early, so we don't even get the joys of having Lampard return.
I'm going 2-1 to Chelsea.
I've won 2-1 to Leeds, and the reason is because he's won because he's unbeaten in 9 games. I think it'd be funny if it was just Leeds. Yeah, and Leeds are due a win. I feel so. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds. I'm very hopeful, but look, Chelsea might win the game, and it's just one of them. But I'm going to go hopeful and say 2-1 Leeds.
Palace versus
Palace West Brom next. What are you thinking?
I think I'm going to go for a Palace win. I'm going to go for a Palace to win by 1-0. I think. Obviously, I know they got humbly dispatched by Spurs, but I think Palace got a better attacking threat. Zaha's back as well, and they've got Benteke, and their attacking threat is better than West Brom's attacking threat, and defensively West Brom are not that great really. So I think Palace will win the game 1-0. What about you?
I've gone 2-1, and the only reason to West Brom, and the only reason I've gone 2-1 is because West Brom have to win. Like it's getting to that stage now, they have to win because if there's 10 games left, there'll be 9 games after that. They will not have enough points after that. So I'm just going to go. I'll say 2-1 West Brom, but yeah, them games it could quite easily be Palace could win it. It could be a draw. West Brom could win it. It's a very tight margin game. Do you know what I mean? It's hard one to predict. Everton Burnley.
I think Everton are going to bounce back.
Yeah, I do.
I think they will win. I think they're going to win 2-1. I don't think it's going to be. I think Burnley, with their grit and determination of what they did against Arsenal, will take a lot of confidence bringing that in. I just think Everton will react and be more clinical this week. So I think I'm going to go 2-1 to Everton.
Yeah, that's exactly what I put 2-1 Everton. I think they'll react as well, and I think Burnley are good defensively, but I think Everton will be too strong for them. I think they'll just be a little bit too strong for them. So yeah, I think Everton will win that one. Fulham versus City.
I'm going draw because first of all, I just don't want Man City to win. Obviously, I just think that Fulham are just showing a lot of fight, and it depends on Man City turn up whether Man City will be tired after the midweek fixture again. Because if they are tired after how they played against, Southampton midweek, then it will be 3 weeks in a row where on a Saturday or a Sunday or on the weekend they've been tired and they've played to their best. So I feel like they might be a little bit tired, but I think Fulham might nick a draw. Because they played well against some of the top teams recently. So I'm going draw.
I think it's a tight one to be fair. I put City to win 3-1, but again, yeah, it's a tight one because Fulham are doing so well, and yeah, on paper City should win it, but yeah, because Fulham are doing so well, it could quite easily be draw. But I've gone City win 3-1, but yeah, they're quite. Some of the games are really tough now. Now you come to the end of the season, it's getting really tough because form is a massive factor, and you've got the teams that aren't on form, so it's hard to predict which team's going to do the best out of the teams out of form, and then you've got the teams who are in form who's going to do the better out of them. Do you know what I mean? Southampton, Brighton.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to go Brighton to win.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go Brighton to win 1-0. The reason why is because I just think that as much as they're Brighton are playing the way they are, they're still creating chances, and I just think it's a bit of a South Coast derby, and I just think that Brighton will take their chances this time. I just think they're going to win 1-0. I just have a feeling that they're going to react and win because they have to. What do you think?
I think Southampton will win 2-1, and the reason is I think they are a good team, Southampton. I think, but again, it could quite easily go to Brighton. Like it is so fine margins, but I just think Southampton if they beat Brighton, that keeps them up, and I just think it sort of keeps them up, and I think they'll be too strong. I think they'll be too strong for Brighton, but again, it's fine margins. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leicester, Sheffield.
Okay, so now for Leicester is a good for the. I think Leicester are going to win like 3-0. And the only reason I'm saying they're going to win that 3-0 now, and it's going to be more comfortable, is the fact they don't have Europa League midweek. Because if they had Europa League Thursday, I think they would have won, but maybe like 1-0, maybe, or something a little bit less. Would have struggled. But I think they'll win this game 3-0. I think they'll be comfortable for Leicester.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, 3-0 is what I put. I think I think it'll be comfortable for them. I can't see any other way. I'm not sure when Madison and Barnes are back, but I think it should be fairly comfortable for them. And after, like I said, after what Chris Alder said about when your manager comes out and says your team isn't good enough, I think there's warning signs there that you're not going to win that many games. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I can't see any other scoreline. Arsenal Spurs, North London derby.
I have to say, in recent years, well, maybe the past 5-6 years at least, this has probably been the most entertaining derby in the Premier League. And I think it's going to finish 2-2 because both teams can attack and can be clinical, but both teams defensively aren't that great. So I feel like if chances are created, there's going to be goals in this one. I think it'll finish 2-2. Having said that, both teams are playing on Thursday night, so the tiredness levels is going to be fascinating to see that how they're feeling mentally wise. But you remember, you're going into a North London derby, you're going into a derby game, so if you're not up for that, then you won't be up for anything. So I think it will be 2-2. What are you thinking?
I've gone Spurs. I've gone Spurs win. I just think Kane loves to score against Arsenal. Like he's his favourite team to score against, and I just feel the form that he's in, the form that Bale's in. I think Tottenham really peaking form. I think they'll concede, but I think they will score, and I think Arsenal's defence. I think they'll score. So I've gone 3-1 Spurs.
Okay. Man United, West Ham.
2-1. I've gone 2-1. 2-1 Man U. I think they'll just be too strong. Again, it's fine margins because you just don't know what Man U you're going to get. Like, are you going to get the one that turned over City? Are you going to get the one that turned up at Palace? Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. But yeah, I think West Ham don't have Lingard as well because obviously he's on loan. I think that could be a big loss for him. And yeah, I think Man U will come out on top. I think I think Man U come to. I think Fernandes will turn it on, and I think they'll come out on top. So yeah, 2-1.
Okay, I'm on the fence with this one. I think it will be 1-0 to Man United, because I'm also thinking Manchester United play AC Milan on Thursday night, so they might also be coming in a bit jaded, coming into a tough fixture. So I think Man United might just nick it 1-0, if that, and keep another clean sheet. But don't be surprised if West Ham get a point out of this game. Put it that way. After how they played against Manchester City the other week, they can definitely get something out of that game. But I think Man United will just nick it 1-0.
And then the last fixture, Wolves Liverpool. Go on, what is it?
0-0. I'm going for
0-0.
Yeah, Wolves can't really score. Liverpool can't really score. Both teams can't really score goals at this moment in time. Wolves will probably create more chances because we aren't really creating nothing. And it'd probably be a dead rubber 0-0, I think.
I've got 1-1. I've got 1-1. I think so. I don't know. I think the same. I think
actually letting us score. Thank you.
Yeah. Liverpool can score. Like, you look at your team, like, you should be scoring. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you should be scoring, but I don't know. Like it's like when you play Sheffield United. I said that, like, you beat a very poor team, and it's like, I mean, on paper you should be able to beat Wolves. Like, do you know what I mean? You're better than Wolves, but it's just not gelling. So yeah, I've got 1-1, but you could win it. Wolves could win it. It's literally which way do you turn? Right. Question time. Right. So I'll do the first one. Right. So the first one. If you could change a moment in history, if you could erase one thing in football history, what would it be? One moment in football history, what would you erase? I'll do mine first. What do you think?
Go
So
on.
mine would be that Ronaldinho got sent off before he scored the free kick against England. So then, because I think England would have won the World Cup in 2002 if they beat Brazil. So I think England would have won the World Cup. So that's mine. So hopefully that would have meant England could win the World Cup. My other one was that against Croatia that Kane slid it across to Sterling. Yeah, that was my other one instead of shooting. But yeah, what are you thinking?
Well, the first one is Gerrard slipping against Chelsea.
Yeah, it's lucky. He's it.
That one, because even I would have taken a 0-0 out of that game. We still win. The second one would just be period. Manchester City beating Brighton on the last game of the season to win the league from us because we lost it by 1 point. So yeah, those are the two for me. Oh, actually, hold on. No, third one. Sorry, I've got one more actually. Quick.
Third one, you get three. It was one at first. No, now go on. What is it?
Let me have it. Sergio Ramos injuring Salah in the Champions League final, which just apart from what Karius did, but Salah getting injured.
Right, you ready for questions?
Yeah.
Right, your club goes bankrupt and deceases. Would you rather go and support another team in your league or go become a rugby fan?
Go be a rugby fan.
Would you?
Yeah. Ride or die Liverpool, man. Ride or die Liverpool. Well, I haven't said that. I'll say that now, but then we're wearing a bloody Juventus t-shirt, so.
If you had to pick, would you choose your football team or your relationship?
Okay, well, seeing as I've not ever been in a relationship.
As if you even thought about it. I'm sorry, like
I'm gonna choose relationship.
No one's taking Leeds United away from me. Like there's nobody taking Leeds United away from me. Like it's not even a question. On the quiz, I've got this from a website, and on the quiz it's 97% voted football team, 3% voted love. If the woman's trying to change my football team, she ain't my woman.
All right, cool. On that note, how you said it like that? I'm sticking with Liverpool.
Yeah, always stick with your team. That's what my uncle said that to me. He said you're more likely sticking with your team than your wife.
Brilliant.
Right. Would you rather have your marquee? Which would you rather have as your marquee summer signing? A David Luiz who gives away a goal almost every game, or a Fernando Torres who can't score?
I'd rather have Fernando Torres who can't score.
Yeah, but then you've got no goals.
Yeah, well, I'm not conceding.
You might still concede. With Liverpool, you definitely concede. It's like the Liverpool team you got now with Firmino up front.
No, I'd rather, 100%. I'd rather Fernando Torres because if Torres don't score, the other two might score. Well, somebody else might score. So I'd rather have a better defense. Defense wins you championships.
Right, last one. Would you rather lose your favourite player but sign two who are equally as good with the cash, or keep the favourite player?
I'd rather keep the favourite player, the best player. Keep the best player because that player clearly makes the difference to your team. To make, you know what I mean. It also helps motivate them to step up. So, yeah, keep the best player. What about you?
I said that as well. I'd rather keep the best player. I'm thinking what would I rather have, Rafinha or
Phillips?
or like two, do you know what I mean? But like I love Rafinha, so I'd rather just keep him.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Right, that's it.
Absolutely. Quickly, football fantasy. How'd you do this week?
Oh, football fantasy, yeah, I did terrible. I've done absolutely terrible.
How many points?
40, I think.
63 points, not bad.
63?
Yeah, Fernandez got me 20, Kane got me 19. At least.
40. I got 40, but I got 3 players left.
No, mate. You almost got as many points as what Liverpool have this season. So, fair play to you. Also, actually, just before we go, a couple other things. Shout out to Steven Gerrard for winning the league. Finally winning a title. He deserved it, Rangers. Unbeaten. Deserved to win the title. Fair play to them. couple of other things in games in Europe. We're wearing Juventus t-shirts. We don't support them, but they did beat Lazio 3-1. AC Milan 1-0. Inter beat Atalanta 1-0 yesterday. Bayern won the German Klassiker 4-2 against Dortmund from 2-0 down. So hat-trick from Lewandowski, who did better than Haaland, even though Haaland scored 2 goals in the first 9 minutes. Fair play to them. And in the Madrid derby, it was 1-1. Suarez scored, and Benzema scored a late equaliser. And Atletico stay top of the league.
Thank you for that roundup.
There you go.
That's around the world in a minute. Around the world, football around the world in a minute.
Absolutely. But yeah, thank you for tuning in to the show, everybody. The next episode for football will be next Tuesday at 7 p.m. There's going to be a show on Friday. We're not going to tell you what it's going to be yet. You have to wait and see, but there's a show come out on Friday about different topics. So feel free to tune into that as well. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Again, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep letting us know down in the comments, what you like, what you don't like. And we really do appreciate everyone who has subscribed and liked our stuff so far, and as we try and grow the channel and stuff. And we're also so I'm going to upload this onto YouTube, and that's going to be on. That's going to be on every Tuesday, the football one, and we're also uploading onto Castbox as well. So if you want to listen to it and you don't want to listen for YouTube, you want to listen for Castbox, and while you're out for a walk and stuff, you can do that now as well. But yeah, any feedback would be much appreciated. And yeah, just keep liking, keep subscribing, and yeah.
Awesome.
All right, that's us.
Everyone. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.